No. Now, I will get
Hello everyone, I bring you the much anticipated recap of the movie Housemaid 2025 with everyone's favorite Sydney Sweeney. The story kicks off with Millie Calloway going for a housemaid job at a massive fancy house. At the door, she meets Nina Winchester, Andrew's wife. Nina looks at Millie's resume and raises an eyebrow. She asks, "You have a college degree. You seem smart. So why do you want this job?" Millie explains she actually likes housemate work and wants to work for a good family if she can. Nina tells her the job isn't just cleaning, she'll live in the house, do all the housework, cook, and take care of their 7-year-old daughter, Cecilia. Millie agrees to everything. Nina shows her around the house, from the kitchen to the TV room. Millie asks why they even need a housemate since it's just 3 people and the house looks clean. Nina admits she's pregnant and might not manage soon, but asks Millie not to tell Andrew yet. Then Nina shows her Cecilia's room with a big dollhouse of the whole family, and finally Millie's small guest room upstairs. Nina says she can decorate it however she wants. Millie feels happy, and when leaving, Nina even gives her $20 for gas. Outside, Millie thinks to herself that if Nina digs too deep, she'll figure out Millie's secret and she might lose the job. She also mentions she doesn't usually wear glasses just for the interview. The next day, Millie's washing up in a restaurant bathroom because she has no home and sleeps in her car. She eats with the money Nina gave her, worrying she might not get the job. Then the police show up, telling her she can't sleep there. At the same time, Nina calls to say she got the job and needs to come quickly. That evening, Millie arrives and meets Enzo, the gardener, who quietly opens the gate. Inside, the kitchen is messy. Nina welcomes her, but rushes off to write a speech for Cecilia's school PTM. Millie starts cleaning, and soon Andrew and Cecilia come back. Andrew didn't know a new housemate was there, but when Nina introduces Millie, he's surprised and welcomes her. He offers dinner, but Millie politely declines. In her room, Millie notices the door only locks from outside and the windows don't open. Later, Nina brings food and gives her a phone for shopping. Millie starts cleaning, and Andrew tells her it's not her fault Nina's been stressed for a while. Millie figures out Nina's pregnancy might be causing her stress. Outside, Enzo notices her, but walks away quietly. Later, while taking out trash, he asks what she's doing. Before more can be said, Nina appears at the window, and he leaves. Millie finds a piece of a tooth in the bathroom. Nina comes in complaining about other moms and tells Millie to cook while she takes a bath. Andrew shows up, asking what she's making. Slowly, Millie starts feeling something for him. Cecilia asks for juice, complains, even though Millie cleaned it, and wants a fresh one. Andrew asks her to eat with them, but Millie goes back to her room, scrolling Instagram and sneaking glances at Andrew. She even dreams about him trying to kiss her, waking up feeling attached. Later, Nina gives Millie her room key but stops her from going out on Saturday. She wants Millie to stay with Cecilia for a hair salon appointment. Andrew steps in and says Millie can go since he's off too. Millie doesn't go to the salon but to the Human Services office, where she casually reveals her past a 10-year sentence, 5 in jail, 5 on parole, released early for good behavior. She works small jobs to survive. On the way back, Nina asks her to pick up Cecilia from dance, but Millie doesn't know the address. She searches online, but just as she's about to leave, Nina's friend shows up and says Cecilia will stay with her. Millie calls Nina, but Nina lies. Millie leaves quietly. Back at the house, Nina claims she had already arranged it, and Millie says nothing. Then Andrew's mom, Evelyn, shows up to give some family heirlooms and tells Nina to make Millie wear proper clothes. That night, Millie can't sleep because the window is locked, so she goes downstairs to watch TV. Andrew joins her. They laugh, and Andrew tells her about Nina's tragic childhood. Nina walks in, warning Millie to wear proper housemaid clothes and stay away from Andrew. Later, Nina's friends visit, reveal she's supposedly pregnant, and criticize her past mental health. Millie begins to think Nina might be unstable. The next day, Nina and Andrew go to the doctor. Millie checks the medicine cabinet and finds pills for severe mental conditions. She now fully believes Nina is unstable and plans to leave, telling someone on the phone she'll take any job to survive. Cecilia overhears and asks why, but Millie avoids it and plays with the dollhouse. When Nina and Andrew return, Nina is angry and crying. Andrew tells Millie the doctor confirmed Nina isn't pregnant and Cecilia isn't his biological daughter. When Millie hears that Andrew had a small baby when he met Nina but now considers Cecilia his daughter, she feels even more attracted to him. Yet suddenly she hears crashing sounds from downstairs, so she rushes down and sees Nina holding a piece of glass with blood on it. Millie panics, thinking maybe Nina hurt Andrew, and she calls out to him. Then Andrew comes from behind, takes the glass from Nina's hand and closes the door. The next day, Nina gives Millie some new clothes, and Millie asks if she can book a Saturday show because she wants to apologize to Andrew and go out for dinner. The scene cuts to Millie at Cecilia's dance class, where a woman tells her that Nina left Cecilia in a bathtub as a child and got caught by the police, and then she stayed 9 months in a mental asylum. Later, Nina and Cecilia return home where Enzo is in the parking lot, and Millie tries to ask him about the family, but Nina shows up and Enzo leaves. Nina scolds Millie for booking the wrong day's ticket because she planned to take Cecilia to school camp, and now the money will be cut from her salary, but Andrew says he will not take anything from her pay. The next day, Nina and Cecilia go to camp, leaving only Andrew and Millie at home. Andrew tells Millie she can use the ticket and go with a friend, but she says she has none, so he offers to take her himself. They go out, dance, have dinner, drink a little, and stay in a hotel in separate rooms. Yet Millie sees many messages from Nina threatening to fire her, so she cries and tells Andrew, and he reassures her that he will fix everything. During this emotional moment, they get very close. The next morning, Andrew says they should return home because it might be late, and Nina could be back. And when they arrive, he kisses Millie again and takes her to his room. Soon, Nina comes home while Millie is cooking and Andrew is fixing a light bulb. At lunch, Nina says she knows Millie spent 5 years in prison, shocking Andrew and frightening Millie, but she lets Millie use her car for shopping. Outside, Millie meets Nina's friend who talks about iPhone tracking, so Millie realizes Nina knows where she and Andrew were last night. While in the car, the police stop her claiming the car is stolen, but Andrew arrives and handles everything. At home, Andrew says it is not her fault and Nina is insane again. Nina waits at home and threatens Millie, saying she will fire her and send her back to prison, but Andrew shouts at Nina and tells her to leave. And after slapping Millie, she runs away crying. After this, Millie and Andrew grow even closer, making breakfast together. But Millie panics seeing Enzo at the window and breaks dishes. Andrew fires Enzo and tells Millie not to worry. Later, Andrew scolds her for not cleaning the broken dishes, and Millie says she was afraid of cutting her hands. Then he takes her to the top floor room romantically, gives her wine, and she passes out because Andrew mixed it with drugs. When she wakes up, all her stuff is gone and Andrew refuses to open the door because she broke his mother's special dish, which he calls her punishment. The scene cuts to Nina celebrating because Andrew kicked her out, and she dances freely in a hotel while remembering her tragic childhood. Nina's life was never easy. She lost her parents young and lived in foster care. Then in college, she got pregnant after a relationship with a teacher who left her. Later, she worked at a big company where she met Andrew, who liked her a lot. Nina told him about her child, but Andrew did not care, and he proposed to her, and they got married. After some time, Andrew noticed Nina's hair was uneven and told her to see a doctor, but she forgot. Then he got angry and sent her to the top floor room to bring things while locking her inside, demanding perfection and making her pull 100 hairs from the root. Nina somehow did it, but Andrew said one hair was missing, so she had to do it again. Later, he gave her water with a sleeping drug, and when Nina woke up, she saw her baby in the bathtub, almost drowning. Andrew and the police arrived, and Nina realized Andrew had set her up to make her look guilty so she could not speak. She stayed 9 months in a mental asylum, took the blame, and came back home planning to escape. She knew Andrew had too much money and could track her anywhere, so she planned to bring a girl home to distract him while she took her child. Enzo warned her it could go wrong, but Nina kept thinking of a way to escape and also took medication to prevent pregnancy, which brings the story back to the present, when Nina hires Millie as a housemate knowing her criminal past. Back in the present, Andrew slides a broken dish under the door and tells Millie to make 21 cuts on her body as punishment. And we see her story of going to jail when she tried to save a girl in college and accidentally killed a boy. Later, Millie finds a small knife, attacks Andrew while he is asleep, and locks him in a room, watching him through the camera while getting water. When Andrew refuses to remove a tooth as a proof, Millie threatens to pour petrol, and he finally complies. Nina and Cecilia eat out, and Nina decides to save Millie that night, accidentally opening the door. Andrew attacks Nina and Millie, but Millie escapes. Nina tells Andrew the truth that all property and business belong to her family, and when he tries to push her, Millie knocks him down, killing him. Nina decides to make it look like an accident. The police help because they knew Andrew's past, and his funeral happens the next day. His mother taunts Nina, and she realizes Andrew learned cruelty from her. Millie says goodbye, and Nina gives her a big check. In the last scene, Millie goes for another housemate job, sees the woman's marks, and understands she is in an abusive relationship. This is where the movie ends.